Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Kwaku's going to introduce us today. Kwaku, say it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live at 5 a.m.
A.M. You are right. Here we go. We are coding today. We are entering into the code session of our app. And basically remember, ladies and gentlemen, that the GUI becomes your checklist. Right? Why does it become your checklist? Gabby. Chandler. That's right. We got to add code blocks to every one of these pieces of the puzzle on our GUI and get it to work. Does anything on our GUI work right now? No. So we're going to start at the top here with student ID and this barcode. And this app's kind of cool. The last app, remember, the camera button was at the bottom and we started at the bottom and then we went up top and we worked our way down. This app just actually starts at the top with student ID and you work your way all the way down and we're going to get all these buttons to work. The last button we're going to do is submit. First button we're going to do is this barcode and we're going to work our way down. Are you with me? Everybody ready to go? Here we go. Let's go into the blocks. Okay. First button we're going to hit is start your way at the top. First button you're going to hit is what? Student barcode. Okay, so when I click the student barcode, what do I have to call? Yep, call the barcode scanner for student. And I want to tell it to do a scan for me. And then we go in here, just like the camera. You guys remember what we did once we took the picture? Then after we took the picture, we had to do something, Arnold? The barcode? Then you don't have that invisible barcode. You got to go back to your designer and you got to put it in. Your GUI was not finished. Okay? What's that? Then here it is right here. If you're using my USB, then it's called barcode scanner student down at the bottom. You got to go down to the bottom and get it. Okay? Once we do a scan, there's going to be something we do after the scan. After we scan, we're good, right? Okay? Now, this is where you want to start remembering things here, right? Anytime you're coding and you want to start remembering something, you need what we call a variable. So let's say you're playing Pac-Man, right? And somebody's playing Pac-Man. Have you guys ever played Pac-Man before? Yeah. What do you want to remember about the player when they play Pac-Man? Yeah, you want to get their score, right? You want to remember their score, you want to remember the high score, and you probably want to know what their name is so that when you save them in that high score list, you give them a name, right? The player name. So if you want to remember stuff like that, you make variables for the player name, you make a variable for the high score, you make a variable for the player score. Okay? So what do we want to remember here? Let's go back to the GUI. What are some things we want to remember in this app? Let's go down the list. Yeah. We need to remember their student ID. What about do we want to remember the teacher ID? Yes. Do we remember the team name? Yes. Do we remember how many tickets we gave them? Yes. Do we want to remember how many total tickets they have? Yes. So all this stuff we need variables for. So let me show you how to do a variable. You go over to the variable box and you initialize a global variable. Okay? And then you go over to its name box, you click on the name, and we're going to give it a name. So I'm just going to call this very simple. Plug my keyboard back in because my keyboard is not plugged in. And I'm going to go right here, and I'm going to say this is student ID. Now, you have to think here for a second. You have to analyze the problem. What is student ID? Is student ID a number, or is student ID a string, or is student ID text? What is it? And you got to be careful here. Let me give you a hint, okay, before you answer this question. Numbers you do math with. Strings you don't. Are you with me? So you got to be careful because there's some numbers that are really strings. What's student ID? String or a number? Yeah. Nope. Do you do math with the student ID? No. So therefore, student ID is really a string. Your phone number. Is your phone number really a number or is it a string? It's a string. Your social security number, is it a number or a string? It's a string. You're not going to do math with it. So just do a simple analytical test in your brain. Do I do math with it? If you do math with it, it's probably a number. If you don't do math with it, it's probably a string. Your house number. Number or string? String. Your lunch number. Number or a string? String. Right? Your age.
String.
You can do math with your age. Okay. Could be both. Could be both. Could be both though. 9.5. Number or a string? Number, right? I can do math with 9.5. Okay. So does that make sense? So why do I have to know that? Because right here, you either have to go up to math and give it a 0, right? Start it with a 0, or you have to go up here and start it with a blank blank. Okay, so which one is this going to be? Yeah. No. Student ID is a string or number? String. So you got to get rid of this, and you go to here. Okay? Copy this. Paste it. Okay? In here, this is going to be teacher ID. Teacher ID going to be a blue 0 or a string? It's going to be a string. Okay? What's next? Next one down is team name. Okay? So I copy this, duplicate it, and now I'm going to go in here. I'm going to say, okay, this is my team name. And it's going to be a string. Okay? Next one. Duplicate it. What's next? Number of tickets. Num ticks. Is number of tickets going to be a string, or can we do math with it? Not a string. Are we going to add up and do math with the number of tickets? Yes, we're going to do math with the number of tickets. Therefore, it's not a string. What is it? We go to math and we grab out a 0. Okay? Next one. Total. Total num ticks. Is total num ticks going to be a purple string, or is it going to be a blue number? Another question you can ask yourself, am I going to do math with the total, or am I going to not do math with the total? Number. Who thinks it's a number? I think you guys are right. Okay, it is a number. I'm going to do math with it. I'm going to total it up. I'm going to add on to the total. So the simple question is do you do math with it? If you do math with it, then it's a number. If you don't do math with it, it is probably a string. Your social security number, do you do math with it? No. It's an identifier. Your lunch number, not a number. It's a string. So a string can be a list of characters and numbers. Numbers can just be numbers. Numbers you do math with. That's a simple test. Okay? So here we go. We have our variables made. Who now knows how to create a variable? Thumbs up. Who knows how to think about if it is a number or versus a string? You have to ask yourself that simple question. Was that hard to do? No. But once you understand how to play the game, it's really pretty simple. Okay? So these blue These blue things says here, started out as a number. These purple blocks here say, hey, started out as a string, it's going to be a string. Okay? So, after we do the scan, we want to go to our variable and we want to set the student ID to be the result, get the result of the scan. How did I get result? Remember we hover over the Mario coin? You guys remember how to hover over the Mario coin? Get the result, put the result in. That is the scan. Where do we want to place our scan? Where do we want to display it on the screen? Let's go back to our GUI. When I scan this in, where do I want to display it? What's right next to it? I want to display it right here in this text box, right? I scan it in, I put it in the box. So, what has to happen next? Once I remember it, now I go to my text box and I say, okay, text box, I want to set your text to be this result. Okay? Now, there's two ways of doing this. I could simply put result, or I could go to my variable and I could say, hey, get my student ID variable. I think I'm going to show you this way right now, just so that you know that that's happening in memory. Okay? So you put it in your variable, then you take your variable and you put it into the text box. Okay? Thumbs up if you have an idea of what I just did. Okay? Thumbs down. Who's the thumbs down right now? Okay, question. Set text box. I go into my text box, right? And I scroll down and I look for that set.text. Elizabeth? Which first one? You have to get that from your variable box. That is orange, so that is in the orange variable box. That's this student ID right here. I'm setting this guy right here in memory. Okay? Guess what we're going to do for the teacher barcode? Exact same thing, right? So I'm going to copy this guy, duplicate it up here. Okay, I know I have a warning. Why? Because now I'm going to go down here. This is the teacher code. And I'm going to call the teacher scanner to do a scan. Afterwards, what do? I duplicate this one. And I tell it to go to the teacher scanner. And I wanted to get my teacher ID. I want to go to the result. That's fine. This is going to be my text box for my teacher. And this is going to be my global teacher ID. I'm done. I copied and pasted all that code. Copy, paste, change. Copy, paste, change. Copy, paste, change. This is how you work smarter, not harder. Are you with me? You always want to be thinking in programming. Can I work smarter? Can I work more efficiently? Okay? Does everybody see how to copy and paste that? Do you think these two boxes are going to be similar in code? You press a barcode here. Look, here you press a barcode here. Here you press a barcode, you get the student ID number and you place it in the box. Here you press a barcode, you get the teacher ID number and you place it in the box. Are these similar processes? Yes. Do you think you can copy and paste code? Yes. Okay? Done. So now we could run our program, hit the scan button, we can scan in and put it in the ID. You guys want to check it? You want to see if it works? Okay, let's go see if it works. All right, try it out. Let me stop my video. All right, so we just verified that this works, okay? How many people in here can verify that this does work? You can scan it in. Did it go into your text box? Did it show up in your text box? Okay, then what? No? Did it not show up into your text box? It should show up in your text box. It should be the number that you read in. Okay? So how cool is that? We go to this website right here, free online generator. We type in, you know, whatever number that is your lunch code number. Boom. You type it in right there. There's your barcode. Could the school do this and put this on the back of your ID number? Yeah. Would this app really work? Yeah. You know, instead of a teacher making all these photocopies all day long, they go in here, they type in a student number, and they put in your student number, they generate this barcode, they print it out, they stamp it on the back of your ID. Boom, they're done. Now your ID is alive and it's working. Okay? Let's go back to MIT. What's next? Designer. What's next? Okay, now we need to get the team name. Okay? We need to get the team name. I'm just thinking, since we are selecting a team, I'm just wondering if we should display it somewhere. We could use this screen one title. Let's display it right here so that you guys know that we are choosing the right team name. Are you with me on that? You don't want to select the wrong team name and then hit submit and then you just gave tickets to another team. Does that make sense? So anytime you select something in memory, you want to display it. So here we go. I got an idea. So what's next? Our next is the spin name. So you're just going to say when after selecting, right? You're going to go in there and after you select, and you're going to set your variable. Remember we made a variable for team name? So we're going to go ahead and set our team name variable to the get selection. Okay? Now I'm going to print it out. Okay? So I'm going to print it out to this screen one. Remember the screen one title? So I'm going to go down here to screen one title. Screen one title. And I'm going to set my screen one title to a text. And I'm going to do a join here. I'm going to show you how to do a join. And I'm going to go ahead and put a text in here. And I'm going to say your selected team is space. And then right here, in this little blank right here, I'm going to actually put in the team name. So I'm going to go ahead and get my variable. What variable am I going to get? I'm going to go ahead and get the team name. Okay? Who wants piece game? Kwaku already got some today. The girls haven't had any today. Alana, can you go turn the one light off so we can see the board a little bit better? There is? There's an error on this get result up here. Is this a variable? Is this set variable? Right here? Are you talking about here? You can't put get result there. You have to put get selection there. We're selecting from, the result is back up here at your scanner. Okay, so it looks like you copied this one and put it down here. Okay, wrong one. See, you did this right here, right? What's it going to do? Problem. Okay? So this has, you have to get to selection because now we're in a different code block here. So you have to go through the spinner. We select a team name. Now that team name becomes my global team name. I set it to my global team name, and then I'm just going to print it out here so you know which one we selected. Alana, question? Okay, cool. Work with your partner. Very nice, very nice. It's always good to work with your partner in here, right? Thumbs up. Okay. Give a high five to your partner right now. Give them a high five. Tell them they're awesome. Okay. Help each other. We're one big happy family. Okay. We give hugs. No kissing, though. Not allowed to kiss in class. No kissing. It's good to give high fives, though. All right, what's next? Let's go to our designer checklist. Here we need, what's next? What's the next box over? Spin for number of tickets. So let's go ahead and do this. So basically, I can just copy and paste this again. Okay, I'm going to duplicate this. But this time, I'm going to select not the team name. I'm selecting which one? Number of tickets. Okay. This global is going to be my number of tickets. And this is my selection. And I can go ahead and I don't need this. Okay. So remember here that on this here we have ticket number. We have a red label down here. You guys remember that? So we need to get this red label to work. So everybody see the red label for LBL num tickets? We want to, when you select number of tickets, that's going to go right down in here. So I don't need to put that up in my screen title. Okay. You know, I was thinking what we ought to do maybe is put in a label here for team name. And we could do that. Would you guys want to do that? What's that? Yeah, it really does. I don't know. Yeah, if we want to change that later, we can change it later. We're running out of time. So let's do this one here, okay? So now I need to come down to my label, LBL num tickets, and I need to set the text of the num tickets label. And you're going to throw your variable in there. So go back up, get your variable. And we probably want to do a join here again. So I'm going to come down here and do a join. But I want to make this join look like tickets, :space 0. Are you with me on that? I want only the 0 to change here. Okay? Does that make sense? So I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to make this portion of it look exactly like what I have on the screen. So it's going to say tickets. Did I say tickets or ticket? Tickets, okay. So tickets, :space, and then here, what's this going to be? What variable should this be? What variable should that be in here? Number of tickets, right? Set your tickets, put your tickets in here. So now that is working. Chandler. It doesn't? What does yours say? 0 and 0? Just 0? Okay. Yeah, I think I modified my GUI a little bit. You know, it's up to you and your GUI. What do you want it to look like? I think, you know, you got to be careful with your GUI. We program for dummies, right? Why do we program for dummies? Because, watch this, okay? If I go back to my GUI and I go to my label, right? So let's just look at that for a second. And I'm going to take this out and put in 0, okay? And then I'm going to take this out and put in 0. Okay, do you know what they're for? Do you know what do you know what the red 0 is for? Do you know what the white 0 is for? No. So what do? We program for dummies. So we say total, okay? You got to make things very, very clear when you program. And that's why we say we program for dummies. Okay? You know, I'll put this on videotape for you guys. You know, program for your parents and your grandma. You got to make it so that if they pick up your device, they know exactly what everything's there for. Are you with me? Okay? I'm constantly teaching my mom how to use her phone. They just don't get it. They're not raised in the cell phone era. Like you guys have always had a cell phone in your entire life. When you were born, cell phones were around. You probably held a cell phone when you were sitting at the dinner table at Chili's with your parents and you were in a little, you know, what do they call those little baby booster seats they carry around with a handle, right? You were probably walking into Chili's. You weren't walking, but you were probably being carried into Chili's, and you were probably playing with your parents' cell phone. You guys have been raised with cell phones. Your parents haven't been. 10 minutes left, okay? So you have to keep it simple, and you have to got to keep it simple, okay? And you need to put in things here so that people understand things, okay? So why? Does it take a little bit of time for us to code? Yeah, I had to put in this box right here, okay? You with me? All right, so let's go. Let's see if we got time to do one more. So how do we get the total? Okay, so once they select tickets, we have to start getting the total. So what we do in here is we go to variables, and we're going to start setting our total number of tickets, and now we got to do some math. We're going to start adding. So we're going to go in here and start adding. What are we going to add? Well, we're going to go ahead and start adding our total again, right? The total, again, the total number of tickets gets added to how many tickets you just selected. So that would be your number of tickets. So if I have 30, then 30 is going to equal 30 plus 5. And if I have 30 plus 5, how many do I end up with? What's 30 plus 5? 35. So now I have 35, and now Mark gets 7. So I'm going to take 35, now equals 35 plus 7. I'm now at 42. So now I'm at 42, and Mark gets 10 more. So I have 42 equals 42 plus 10, and now I'm at 52. Are you with me? And now I got 52, and I say 52 equals 52 plus 3. Now I'm at, do you understand how that works? You keep adding your total equals your total plus the next number of tickets. Okay. And now we get into a structure called looping. And once I put this in here, I want to go ahead and copy this green block. I'm going to bring it down here. And I'm going to say, okay, this is LBL total. And I'm going to join it to not tickets, but I'm going to say, okay, this is my total colon space. And this is not number of tickets. What should it be? It should be the, what variable goes in there? What goes in the LBL total box? Total tickets, right? So I select global total num tickets. Okay? And I display the total number of tickets. At the beginning, these could be the same, okay? And then they should start to change. Okay. Probably duplicated something. You duplicated something and then you didn't change it. Yep. Okay. All right, we got a few minutes left. I can see what's next, okay? All right, the enabled buttons next. Oh, the password buttons next, right? Password, okay? So we forgot a variable. Do we need to remember what the password is? Yes. So did we make a variable for the password? No. So we got to come up here, duplicate this, and we have to say this is the password. Okay. And the password, is it going to be a number? Do you do math with passwords? No. So the password is going to be a, okay. And then we also need another one. Okay. We need a password that they type in. Are you with me? Because we have the actual password, right? And we have what they typed in. Could what they type in be different than what we have? Yes. So we need two different separate passwords there. So what do you how do you guys understand that? Do we want to have like user password and the password? Or my password? How do you guys understand it so that there's two different ones? Okay? So let's make the password something simple right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then, should we call it typed password? Does that make sense? What they typed in? Or user? User. So user typed pass code. Okay? The password. And the user type passcode. Okay? So, has everybody got that? Thumbs up, you got it. You got to have two there. Why do we have to have two? Why do we have to have two? Yes. One that actually is the right password, right? And then to see if they get it right. Because if they don't type it in right, they don't get in. Are you with me? So there's the actual password that actually is, right? And then there's everything else that they want to pass in. We don't let them in until they get it right. Which right now, what do they have to type in to get it right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? You guys, is this making sense? So, you got to have two there. And I forgot that when I was thinking through this. But now it's okay. We go to that box. Now we get it. Okay. So, we need like a button up there. So actually the password's going to happen when they hit submit. Does that make sense? Because if they don't put in the right password, they can't submit it. Does that make sense? That's the way I'm thinking about this right now. So I think we have to come down to the submit button. That brings us down to the end a little bit, okay? And so when they hit submit, what we have to do is we have to do an if block, okay? An if statement. And we have to check logically to see if the two passwords meet, okay? So if the passcode.text okay, is equal to our variable the password. Okay. You guys are out the door with more. We'll have to finish this on Tuesday. I want everybody to have a great 4-day weekend. Who learned something today? Have a great 4-day weekend. We'll see you Tuesday.